Hey guys, so today we're going to be going over what exactly is Reason. Reason is a DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workstation. Here we have Reason 6.5, which is a professional program used for composition, remixing, as well as mixing and editing various audio sources, especially music. Reason imitates a real studio by giving you access to machines or devices that plug into each other just as analog devices would, but in a convenient digital setting. These machines include instruments such as NNXT Advanced Sampler, sequencers such as Reverb Drum Computer, effects such as RV7000 Advanced Reverb, or other more typical effects such as equalizers, compressors, maximizers, studio imagers. And even in this new version, special devices for editing audio, such as the Neptune Pitch Adjuster, which is similar to Auto-Tune. Reason works with both audio and MIDI files. This allows it to be flexible in that it can work with other MIDI programs such as Sibelius, or editing audio software such as Pro Tools. This makes it very similar to other popular software such as FL Studios. Today we're going to explore the workspace of Reason 6, which consists of three main parts: the mixer, the rack, and the sequencer. Now, right now we have all three of those on the same page, which is a bit confusing. You have the mixer up here, the rack here, and the sequencer down here. But to make it a little easier to work with, we're going to separate these three into different windows. To do that, you go into Window, Detach Main Mixer, which puts the mixer on its own window, making it much easier to work with. You can also do the same thing with the rack window. Once the rack window and the mixer window are taken down, so is the sequencer. It's now also in its own window. The mixer is exactly what it sounds like. It is the place where you can view all of your tracks and edit their levels with the volume, and also their panning, which is causing the sound to be more dominant in one ear than the other. This is very important for creating good sounds that don't overwhelm each other, and we'll go over that in another video. Now, the rack is the part that imitates the studio. Here's where all of your devices go, and this is also where we'll learn our first major keyboard shortcut. The shortcut is Tab, and what it'll do is it'll switch from the front of these devices to the back. And here is where you can plug all of your devices into each other. Now, all this wiring seems pretty complicated, but don't be discouraged. Reason 6 is pretty intelligent and can do a lot of the wiring for you automatically. Even when you do it yourself, it works pretty logically. Just follow where the audio goes, and it should flow pretty naturally. It goes from the instrument to your effect, the input of the effect, then from the output to the input of another effect, then output to input to input, and finally it goes out to the combinator. And as you can see, it says from devices, as in what goes into the combinator is what's coming from everything else, and then the output goes into your mixer. If you don't quite understand this yet, just keep at it. Eventually it'll start making sense. Another thing that can help you work with all of this is to go into Options and select Reduce Cable Clutter. What this will do is it'll take all of your cables and makes them transparent, except for the ones you're directly working with. Lastly, we have the sequencer, which is where we do most of the composition. Here in the sequencer, we can input notes, either by drawing them in, or playing them in if you have a MIDI keyboard. It's also the place where you can edit your tracks, move them around, erase stuff, cut things, etc. So that is the basic workstation of Reason.